Joining us in the final stretch of the show is the CEO of a fund management outfit known as Gen2 Partners. Paul Heffner is starting a fund which is going to let people tap into the A-share momentum. Hello.
Hi.
Happy Friday, Paul.
Happy Friday. Good to see you.
Look, things are kind of going along merrily in China, aren't they? No real problems.
Well, I mean, inflation's in check, but I think there's actually a lot of clouds on the horizon. And getting into it, actually, everyone's talking about the renminbi, which is fascinating.
You can't stop talking about the renminbi.
It's either Greece or the renminbi. But the interesting thing about it is actually start throwing in protectionism, and then people start getting really excited. So like I say, you know, if you go back to what got us into the Depression in 1930s, it wasn't actually the stock market collapse. It was actually trade barriers, protectionism. And if we start getting back into that, what's going to happen in this part of the world? That is going to be an interesting play.
So you think that putting barriers up walls, fortress walls, is going to be a theme for the new year then?
Well, I think we're going to have to go through very carefully, and we're going to see what policy measures they're going to make. But as they have the Party Congress next month in China, I think, you know, I have great respect for the people in Beijing, and they will take a fairly pragmatic approach, and they've been managing this quite well since, you know, less than...
What do you think is going to dominate at the NPC and the CPPCC?
Oh, the new leaders. You've got all the new leaders coming in. But obviously, you've got your themes coming out, and so I think there's going to be particular areas of investment they're going to focus on. So we're still going to look at, you know, themes for China that we're focused on is again, the liberalization of the markets, introducing of futures. These are things that are coming up. That's going to be very important.
Well, everybody's getting really good at blowing a lot of signals out into the market without actually having really any plan B. I mean, the Europeans got together in Brussels and they said, "We stand united. Now, Greece, go fix your own problems." You know, we don't know how we're going to do it.
Right.
The Chinese have been saying we're going to gradually exit from stimulus. I mean, what the hell does that mean? Come on, you can't take that and act on it. It's not actionable intelligence, is it?
Well, I think one of the things that we see for China, which is a very interesting approach, is that they actually have said to us a couple times, "Great, Paul, you've got a new fund launching. You're bringing us a lot of capital." But they said, they don't need our capital. What they really need is Western or international expertise to help them expand overseas and invest abroad. And I think there's some great buying opportunities and some things that they're looking at that I can see just in Asia, which will be a huge return for investors.
Oh, great. So what China needs is the expertise on Wall Street that created CDSs and MBSs and ABSs and CDOs and things of that nature. Just what the PRC needs.
Yeah. No, but...
That's not what you're doing. That's not what you're doing, by the way, just to be clear about this.
No. I mean, what we're actually really doing for the fund is actually we're launching an A-share fund. We're going back to very simple, long-only managers.
Long-only? Long-only
managers who are trading very aggressively.
That's so 80s.
I know, but it's back to basics again.
Well, how's it going? How big is it? Who are you catering to? Me?
Well, no.
You want my money?
Sorry.
Do you need my money?
Well, please, you know, we can talk after the show.
Okay.
But the key thing is that we're going after institutions, sovereign wealth funds, endowment funds, those guys who want to have long-term exposure to China. But now we have a basket of managers who actually are very good at trading the markets. And even last month, when the market was down 8 to 10% on average in China, we've got guys who are up, 1 to 2%. One guy is up 21% last month. 21%.
What's his risk profile, though?
Well, the risk profile is actually he's a very active trader. So
well, you just told me long only. I mean, isn't this an old-fashioned kind of I like the long-term secular story here? Let's place a 10-year bet on this theme or something.
It's not pure value. You have some value guys, but then you have some guys who are just very opportunistic at trading in and out of the market, and they can use cash as a hedge. So if all goes wrong, raise cash.
Yeah. Despite his feigned lack of interest, Paul is listening very, very intently because we happen to be about the same age and we're looking for something as stable as the rock. Right, Paul?
I don't know. I'm not sure this is the environment where you look for stability at the moment. As you say, trader's market, really, isn't it?
It is. It is. And I think the thing that we see with... actually, the little thing about hedge funds, right? So I did a screen this morning saying, okay, how are China hedge funds doing? Some of the China hedge funds are down 12, 13, 14% for January.
Just January?
Just January.
Yeah, but that was a month that nobody reckoned for, right? Nobody reckoned.
But I think you have to kind of get away from that. If you can trade with a long-only guy who can get in and out of the market, then why do you want to go with a complicated strategy where you could lose on both sides?
How big is your fund going to be? A couple hundred million?
Well, we're going to be hampered by QFII, so we're looking at a couple $100 million. Can
I ask you an honest question? I mean this with all humility and due respect, but there's no lack of people who do what you're purported to be doing here, leveraging on QFII allocations. I mean, a lot of people, operators have been in this market for many, many years. Why do we need you at this point?
Actually, if you have QFII, you can invest in these funds. That's the whole thing. So we've set up a structure that will use the QFII to access these funds. And then we manage all the risk, we manage all the execution, we do all the reporting. So all the international standards are managed by us, right? So your money's not going into China, right? So it's actually managed out of our teams in Hong Kong.
Okay.
So that's very different.
Yeah. Well, best of luck, because you never know what these markets are doing. They're talking about asset price inflation and all that. It could be a rough terrain. You're looking for, what year are you, by the way, in the Chinese zodiac?
I'm a snake.
There's a snake? Oh, so am I.
You are?
65?
Yes.
Really? Wow. Had no idea.
year.
Do
Okay.
snakes get along with tigers?
I think so.
I think they get
Very well
ignored.
with dragons.
They could get trampled on, but you can also let out a really big hiss as well. Best of luck, okay?
Yes,
and
Happy
come
New
to
Year.
us with regular checkups, okay, in the new year.
Thanks
and we
so
want to
much.
know how you're doing.
Okay.
Okay.